Okay, and there's a question, maybe it joins that one. Is there any thought of having the possibility of submitting a survey report through MyCLSS and even the digital spatial file?
Yes. Yes. We're not there yet, but we certainly see it in a future enhancement.
It was flagged as a future enhancement, and we need to define the requirements around that, and it's certainly something we want to add in future versions.
Okay, when including georeferencing in the checklist, is this when taking GPS observations only or when tying in existing control monuments?
Yeah, for the georeferencing, there are some rules in Chapter D1 that need to be, if it's GPS, it's always georeference. If it's within 1 kilometer of an existing monument, I think it's georeferencing there as well. If it's a remote location, it's not, that does not need to be georeferenced. So Chapter D1 around Article 60 or in those areas talks about when it's required to have georeference data.
Okay, that's it for questions for now.
All right, so where we're at is we've now created our second checklist, 22A. We've gone through and we have replotted our Mylar. We signed it. We've gone back for any additional approvals that might be required. We upload a fresh PDF of the amended version of the checklist, and we're now ready to send this amended Mylar back to the Surveyor General branch. We do that by selecting Final Plan Submission, and we acknowledge that we've updated the checklist number on the plan. We've applied the Mylar. We've signed it. We've obtained any approvals. If there's no new monuments placed, that's fine. We just go with a 0 there. We still need to calculate the fees. It's just a process that we need to go through. That will activate the Submit button, but we'll see that the fees are in fact 0. We'll now submit this, and we're telling the Surveyor General, we're about to ship off this amended Mylar. Please expect it in the next short while. And at this point, our My Projects page gets updated. To say that again is that we've completed our professional review, we've submitted it, and now the Surveyor General branch is waiting for those returns. We'll see that the checklist number here has changed to 22 as opposed to 22A as opposed to 22, and that on the face of this, it appears as though you have no access to 22 anymore. However, if we click on 22A, what it does is it takes us back and gives us access to 22 from, going down the chain. So from here I can click on this. This will provide me access to my original checklist 22. So they are connected back. You can always, some may argue it's a little cumbersome, but we can always get back to all the checklists that we've completed and submitted through the process.
It's sort of a cascade effect.
Very good word, yes. All right, so now Martin is seeing on his system that in fact I've said that I've sent this back to him, and he's now able to go through this process that we've taken you through again, which is basically that this will change to in progress once he's received those returns, and then ideally it will go to complete, because presumably I've addressed the issues that we've collectively agreed need to be addressed.
Correct. So if I put update here, so now instead of waiting returns, it's going to be in progress. And what we can show at this point here is that at this time, perhaps while it's not likely to happen very often, but a system is built to support that as well. So especially at the time where the professional review is completed and the finalization and submission is not complete. So you may find that at this time you want to request amendment to your survey instructions, but you've completed a checklist for the survey document that you have, but you've realized as you talk to your client a bit more and he wants to have more lot surveys so you want to request new survey instruction at this point. And where we're at now is that you've created a survey document, you have added a survey document, you've created a checklist for it, you obtain a checklist number, and you're at the professional review is complete and finalization and submission is in progress. But you want amended survey instructions. So what you do there is you go back to your project details and you will be able from there to request survey instructions amendments. Now the screen is a bit different than when there was no checklist that existed for that project. And what you see there is a step 1 and step 2. Step 1 shows you all the survey documents that where a checklist has been completed for. So what the note is, basically what the note is saying is that check this box if this survey document is going to be affected by your survey your amendment to your survey instructions request. So what again is the same logic, is that if the survey instructions amendment are going to impact the final Mylar and you will have to produce a new Mylar, then ACLS will ask you to complete a new checklist for that Mylar. And if you don't check that box, then you won't have to complete a new checklist for that Mylar. So let's say yes, the amendment will affect my final Mylar. So I'll check that box. It's already checked. I put my amendment needs there. So could you put something and send me a request there, Brent? Okay. And you send that. So SGV receives an email saying that you've requested amendment. If you go back to your project page there, as before, everything's going to be put to a freeze, so you cannot create any survey document. You cannot access any of your checklists. The only thing you can do is see your survey instructions, the old ones, basically. So we've received this amendment to the survey instructions here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to issue amended survey instructions for that one. Now, I've issued new instructions, amended survey instructions, and the project will be back to instructions issued. You will receive a notification by email about that. Now everything's back to live. You can add new survey documents, and your checklist now is set to amend your checklist because you've selected that survey document as being affected by your request. So the ACLS wants you to complete a new checklist for that one. So if you go to amend checklist, that will bring you onto the ACLS side there, and same thing as Brent explained before, you can copy a checklist from a previous one. So you want to say some more there, Brent?
Sure. Just in that it's the same process we've been through, but now because there was both checklist 22 and checklist 22A associated with a survey document, I have access to both of those. So I can pick which one I'm going to use to populate my third checklist for this particular survey document. And other than that, we go through the same process that we've already seen.
Yeah, if you can do, because it's going to generate a checklist with the next letter in the, so it's going to be 22A, B in this case. Yeah, you have to provide a name again. So, and when you go through the cycle there, it's going to be 22B in this case, and it's so forth.